cycle through. Looks like there's only a single Dragoon here. It needs to get another pylon down to create a pylon blockade. Probes, there's that an additional pylon going down. But it looks like, yeah, double gas might be capped here. If this SCV decides to take it, just going to try to do it in the dark again. He has no way to defend it if he does decide to build here. But would get the double gas, and I'm not sure that Sen would really be able to sniff it out. Doesn't have an observer alongside. I don't think he knows about that expansion up at that base. I have to assume he thought that engineering bay was kind of floated out there over a long distance. A lot of the Dragoons and the Zealots here camping around that mineral only. A Vulture's just kind of doing a little bit of scouting for tier fast units so they can kind of scout around to that area. Taking out that 12 o'clock pylon, so definitely not expanding there. And it looks like we're seeing a lot of, actually, yeah, most of the minerals being spent in tanks, in vultures, a bunch of factories down, actually, so not thinking about expanding at all. So switching immediately into, it looks like a 6-factory build, so 6-factory push immediately off of 2 bases. It looks like you're thinking more about ending the game at this stage than anything. But significantly behind economically, actually, if you look at the macro, about 114 supply versus 171, and if you're going, we'll see if there's a big shift, though, once those factories come into production. Mines being cleared out of the middle of the map once again. A couple more vultures just trying to lay. And I feel like this is a little bit not careless or wasteful of tier, but a little bit wasteful is what I should say. I think he might want to save these mines for an all-out assault rather than planting them just to kind of create a distraction in the meantime, just to have them cleared by this roaming Dragoon force. Looks like he's going to lose a couple of vultures as they get pinned in there, because these vultures otherwise, yeah, not able to really maneuver around or get anything done. Otherwise, they're just planting mines just immediately to have those mines. Well, there was a good hit right there, but otherwise just get lifted off, trying to take some pylons out at that position. A lot of tanks, though, up for tier, and he's at 83 supply. Now he's starting to push out a little bit, wants to maybe think about going for some map control at this stage of the game. Zealots going up after those, trying to get, bad mine right there, blowing up his own forces. But Sen right now, he's in a really good economic position, 129 supply once again versus the 78 on the opposite side, which is about where you want to be as a Protoss player. And he has the high ground against the low ground, but Siege Tank's very dangerous. He's got that observer alongside. Looks it might be taken out by that turret if it's not careful. Looks like it is going to back off in time. Oh, maybe not. Maybe thinking about, no. Okay, I was wondering if he's thinking about the stall turret trick. Looks like he's going to go to the north instead. But right now I feel like Sen's got a good degree of kind of an inverted contain. He has map control, and map control is really what dominates kind of this stage of the maps. Terror actually just moving in position to take his mineral only, setting up a supply depot there across the north. He doesn't have siege tanks to the north to really defend, so Sen pulling an end around, going to be able to deny that expansion for a little bit longer. We'll see that command center just goes up with those siege tanks. So siege tanks going to have to be somewhat repositioned to defend against this attack. And coming from the direction that it looks like tier wasn't really expecting. And there's that speed upgrade with those zealots running in, able to get in proximity on those tanks. Nice attack from Sen, able really to get those zealots mixed up in those siege tanks and bring those dragoons from behind. This is going to deny that additional expansion a little bit longer, because tier's really going to want to establish it. He's going to have to move more siege tanks up. So losing a lot of zealots, but at the very least denying the expansions further. Maintaining that economic advantage. Looks like he's maintaining that supply advantage and by a significant margin. He should be able to cap an additional expansion. Has some Dragoons just kind of hanging out there out in the middle of nowhere, though. Looks like he's going to cap another base in this upper left-hand corner. Not fortunately, this SCV and this Vulture not scouted out. A single Zealot kind of wandering around, and still tier going to run into a bit of problems here, because he's gone for a rather. He's got a lot of factories, and to really make these factories worthwhile, he wants to float that command center out. So it looks like he actually built that command center inside of his base, and hasn't been able to, because he hasn't been able to establish position really. So Sen doing exactly what he needed to do at this stage, and doing a beautiful job of map control overall, and especially managing this ridge, using that ridge very well to his advantage. Looks like he's got some idle probes here in the background, but really kind of main looking a little bit thin, but otherwise just kind of rolling. That looks like that nexus going up that is completely unassailed again because of that map control. That observer is going to see that command center floating out without a lot of protection. So let's see if those dragoons come down and take a couple pot shots at it. Tank's gonna, they're gonna start pushing to the north to try to create a little bit more of contain. But right now, tier just now establishing expansion, and he's already one behind Sen, because Sen's got this one going up in the upper left-hand corner, and I think think Sen might be thinking about taking that one right there as well. Although Sen brings some Dragoons from the north just to clear a couple mines, not able to stop that expansion from going up further, but has kind of a two-pronged thing going here, which is really, you can see, taxing Terra a little bit, having to build a kind of a protective contain around his own base, able at least to get that at least to push that observer back. Anyway, but yeah, Sen already transferring troops to this upper left-hand base. And it looks like at a significant attack, Zealots running in, a lot of vultures there to help protect the tanks, though. So, and it looks like the Zealots actually running straight by, trying to get into the SCV lines. But the follow-up attack looks like it's able to take a lot of those tanks out, and able to take out a significant amount of vultures as well. Not a lot of mines planted, and the mines are really what help clear those Zealots and do a lot of that face damage here. So the Dragoons pushing up and really clearing that attack force out altogether. I think Tyr, with reinforcements, should be able to reestablish this, particularly if he has some tanks, and he still has some, looks like 2 tanks along that mineral, only losing his barracks, though. But still, some Zealots going to be able to run up and do some economic damage. Actually, it looks like he had more attack units than I thought. And it looks like the mines were more to the north than they were to the south. SCV's pushing up on the tanks, trying to repair them, but now he's going to have to lift that command center up. And it looks like just now Vulture's trying to cycle through. So Tyr once again losing this expansion. And wow, not able to establish his own mineral only. Nice mine there, though, able to get at least 3 kills. Now more tanks coming up. Desperately, that SCV trying to keep that command center, trying to build Sen, trying to work it down to get even a larger advantage, to maintain that economic advantage. But it looks like the rest of these Dragoons going to have to back off. And at this stage, both players drained a little bit on their side, or supply, I should say. But as you can see, in some Vultures trying to push through, but blocked off by that pylon. Looks like a Templar Archive there as well. So, and a Forge going down. So halted, and Dragoons easily taken care of by these. The Vultures easily taken care of by these Dragoons cycling back around. But yeah, Tyr, the story of the game here is map control. Sen's maintained map control through the entirety of the game, stopped Terra from really establishing any degree of a contain, even around his own base, and taking out a lot of SCVs. And as a result, he's reaping the benefits. He's got more Nexi up. Multiple nexuses. I'm not sure how to say that. He's got the economic edge, and it's right now at 69 supply versus 154. In not too long, Sen's probably going to max out, and he's going to be able to send troops in, not willy-nilly, but definitely more aggressively. We'll see if he transitions to Templar Archives. We can see to Arbiters. He's got all sorts of gateways in the back of his base. It looks like he already has transitioned to Arbiters, has one halfway done. Weapons 1 already on the way, 2 Arbiters on the way, and he's going to be able to take that expansion, that natural expansion off that this separate spawn. This is actually the 3rd spawn here, and I'm putting some cannons there to defend against some Vultures that might be coming up at that position. So 12 o'clock. Engineering bay being landed actually to deny the 9 o'clock. So Tyr trying to do what he can with what he has. There's still some Dragoons out of position. Doesn't look like he's going to put any more pressure there until he's got those Arbiters out. A lot of Zealots on the ground, a lot of Dragoons. Good mix, actually, of Zealots and Dragoons. No High Templar, though, so skipping High Templar altogether. This Observer able to sneak away just before that turret's finished. Nice spot off there. And still a Zealot here, just kind of watching these double gas, making sure that SCV didn't slip through to provide